you want to achieve something, the most important thing to do is to think about what you do want. It's a natural thing for people to think about what they don't want.
But if you want to go from where you are to where you want to be, there's some basic steps that you have to do. Number one, you have to decide, where's the want to be? Where do I want to go?
Some people do know what they want, some people don't know what they want. If you don't know what you want, then you need to get clarity on what you do want.
A goal properly set is halfway reached.
When you have clarity about what you want, it's like a laser beam.
You begin by thinking of your goals,
first of all,
objectives, desires consciously. What do you want?
And you need to get specific.
Yep, specific.
It needs to be measurable. It needs to be as if now, which means in present tense. It needs to be positively stated. It needs to be
timed.
Timed. Oh yeah.
Well,
timed.
by when do you want it? Sometime in the future. I mean, 1 year is different from 10 years, is different from 100 years.
But I tell you, once you start to, one, get really clear about what matters to you, what you're passionate about, and you're committed to being good at it, your whole life changes in that moment.
Follow your bliss and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls.
The other thing that's really critical to getting from where you are to where you want to go is you have to make some movement. You have to do the doingness. You have to get in the car and drive. You have to do the work. So when the impulses come and the ideas come, act on them.
Whatever action item comes to your mind, as little as it may seem or as out there as it may seem, take that first step, because that will lead you logically to your next step, and then that will lead you to your next step. Let the path evolve in front of you and don't worry so much about figuring it out.
I believe in setting goals, but not being attached to those outcomes.
This is always the thing that trips people up. They think, if I really want it, how can I surrender it? You don't surrender the goal or the intention. You surrender your attachment to it.
Surrender is not like a giving up on life. It's surrendering your need to manipulate and control life. That's what you're really surrendering.
The more desperate you are to achieve a certain outcome, the more that needy, urgent energy will push that outcome away.
Behind attachment lies fear. The fear that things aren't going to go our way. So where we find ourselves clinging, where we find ourselves attached, if we look a little deeper, what we find is fear.
So when we can lose the expectations and the attachments to outcome, we take ourselves out of that box and we leave room for the infinite possibilities that exist in this world.
The greatest contents of our life come unexpectedly with a surprise. This is why creative experiences are often called aha experience. So be prepared for that aha.
Well, I found the great secret to attracting whatever you want in your life is to not need it, to not be attached to it. If you want to prevent it, be attached, need it, be addicted to it even. If you want it to actually roll into your life easily and effortlessly, be at peace with it.
Are you willing to be responsible for your life? Are you willing to be responsible for both the good and the bad?
Because to the extent that you deny your creatorship in creating your world, to that extent you rob yourself of the power to create what you want in your future.
That means whatever is showing up in your life, you don't come from a place of being a victim. You don't move into blaming, complaining, making excuses, justifying, but rather you just accept what is happening, take responsibility, and move forward from an angle of being a victor in life rather than a victim.
The only thing that will stop you from fulfilling your dreams is you.
How people are treating you, that's their journey. But how you respond, that's yours.
I am choosing my actions, and I'm also choosing my reactions, and those have consequences.
You know, it's not the things that happen to you that really matter. It's the meaning you give the things that happen to you that matter. The meaning you give any particular event can bring you down or bring you up.
So, are we responsible? We're responsible as we're in the midst of our lives to become conscious.
Your life is reflecting back to you right now what you've been thinking about, what you've been giving your attention to.
Science tells us that everything in the universe is made up of energy, including our thoughts, our words, our feelings, and our actions. So we draw to us based upon our energetic vibration.
Basically, our thoughts are sending out signals like a radio wave, and those radio waves are basically saying, I want things to come back into my life that match the vibration of that. So if I'm in fear and resignation, then I'm going to attract more things to be in fear about and to be resigned to.
I'm of the opinion that you've attracted everything into your life, everything, right down to the other people, right down to your boss, right down to your family, friends, everything, no exceptions whatsoever. The only disclaimer I say is that you brought them into your life unconsciously.
Most of the time, most of us are so unconscious, we don't even notice it.
Our brains and bodies and our minds have such enormous potential, but we don't often find that we're aligned with that. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we don't believe that such a thing is possible.
So what prevents us from using this power? What prevents us from actually creating the life that we really love and want and desire and long to attract? And it's the whole idea of limitations that are in your unconscious mind. There are limitations about self-worth, about deservingness, about self-image. It's the programming you and I got when we were born.
In other words, you have unresolved stuff in your past, which is preventing you from having what you want in your future.
Exactly.
People may be thinking to themselves, I'm doing all the right things to manifest my dreams. I'm thinking all the right things, but what are they thinking subconsciously?